concept. So our job is to majorly train on latest trends and latest artificial intelligence concept and place them into reputed companies. So from our side, we have designed two kinds of courses, AI coders and AI non-coders. So AI coders is more on development concentrated. AI non-coders is more on like a no-code tool basis where it kind of like a BA or a tester or project manager. So anything can take, AI no-coders. So the program is designed in such a way. For coders, we teach like 90 days program where we cover up complete important concept to place into job. For non-coders, we teach like same kind of 90 days program. It is kind of a hybrid concept, like both coding and non-coding topics will be covered for non-coders as well. So from IT perspective, coders and non-coders, if you are experienced like 5+ or 10+ years, so you will be enough to spend 90 days to grab everything. So if you are an entry level or a fresher, definitely you would need to spend 180 days, which is 6 months program. So it takes like a lot of time to grab data science and other important software development concept, and then following by Gen AI tools, agents, agentic framework, cloud AI components, prompt engineering, no code tools. So it is not about theory, right? It's all about like practicing in a IDE environment, Python, Jupyter, or VS Code. You have to practice. You have to understand the business cases, how you have to develop in a perspective. Okay. So from our side, if you can see, right, so we have a fully designed framework for both coders and non-coders. In our past experience, so from October to till, we have conducted 200+ AI work sessions, more on prompt engineering, data science related algorithms, neural networks, NLP, agents, agentic frameworks, Google Vertex AI, Amazon Bedrock, Azure OpenAI, and we also explain 6 to 10 business cases automation using AI. So we have developed 30+ business cases in AI automation. We are storing in our reputed GitHub private repository, and whoever is associated with us, we are giving access to them. So whatever we develop in GitHub, right, using all the business cases, so we will be explaining in our regular classes as well. So coming to this boot camp, we have been seeing that a lot of trend on AI agents. Everywhere we see that every company or every enterprise, we see that agents are replacing some of the repetitive tasks, so automation tasks. We see that big enterprises coming up with different agentic frameworks. So when we look at OpenAI or GitHub or any kind of LLM you take, right, agentic frames are leveraged into that. So we see that from Microsoft side, AutoGen, and other companies like LangChain, LangGraph. So many agents are coming up. Okay. So our job is to explain each and everything theoretically and practically with hands-on in the upcoming 5 days. So we will be giving like sharing you the complete course plans for AI coders and non-coders, both for 90 days program and 180 days program for entry level. So we will be sharing everything with everyone in separate chat bot. But to understand, you all know, right? You see that the data science concept, Python, prompt engineering, Gen AI, agents, agent tools, Google Vertex AI, Bedrock, OpenAI, agentic framework. No, everything will be covered as part of the regular course. But in exclusively for this 5-day boot camp, you will be given a complete idea about what is the role of AI agents, agentic frameworks, with theoretical and with business case, with using Python code. We'll be explaining end-to-end code execution, and then you can shoot your questions if there are any breaks, or if you don't understand anything. Okay. So with that, right? So we'll be at last, right? So we'll be sharing all the resources, all the materials, recording sessions related to this boot camp. We put in a centralized repository and we'll give access to everyone. So you don't need to worry about recording this session. So we already recorded this session to our Zoom cloud, and it will be shared to everyone. Okay. So with that, I'm handovering, to my AI architect Venkatesh Dande. So he will be, teaching about what we would be covering in the next 5 days, and if you are enrolled for the this course, what we'll be covering for the entire 90 days. Okay. So I welcome Venkatesh. Are you able to unmute yourself? Yeah, Venkatesh, are you able to unmute?
Yes, sir. I can.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Uh, Thanks for joining us, everyone. So today I'm going to walk you through the course, the curriculum, and about the the industry is like utilizing this AI agentics and their roadmap for upcoming, the planning for next quarter or next offerly. So today I'm going to walk you through the course content along with few of cloud computing, how we deploy these AI models, what are the services we required as we are going to start with the boot camp as in a course, or as in a Gen AI expert, what are the services you required and how we are going to monitor those Gen AIs, which is a crucial part for in an industry, because many of the industries they are looking for this particular expertise in the for their AI services. And let me share my screen. Yeah, yeah. I hope everyone see my screen. So today we are going to discuss about as the Kodendra sir, which is explained as what are the frameworks we generally use in the as an agentic, if many industries considering if you go with the lab research or Intel or kind of optom healthcare industry services, many of the people are showing the interest to move on their day-to-day tasks to the agentic solutions, because where they can build a bot system, so they wanted to add more add-on service, in a bot general we just asked, could you provide the solution or could you help me with having my bank balance in my the account. So what you do, it will provide the banking balance with the basics information. What if case, if you're developing more interactive bot sessions which has to connected with your internal knowledge source platform to provide the more accurate informations, this is where the agentic solutions which is came. Just consider as in a customer service center, in what they do when we approach to the customer service people, they collect the basic information, and follow with that they go with their internal database, and they will do the they will fetch your particular details for the personal details, in a profile details, then they will provide you the solution. So this is what they wanted to be um, provide you, and if some of the access they might won't be available for all the customer service agents, right? Again, they need to escalate for the some other department, so that they need to get back the solutions. So instead of having dependency of the person to person, where if we can bring off this solution entire into the agentic solutions, where it will connect it to the external source and along with the internal source, and along with that the master person who will take the decision of the particular the question or particular solution, particular problem. So this is where the agentic the idea which is came into the industries, many people, it's for insurance platform or handling or an e-commerce platform, or in a kind of some internal chatbot platform, where they wanted to be bring up this agentic platform to provide the solution for their software engineers, or for their customers. So it is an everywhere which is there. Okay. So if we see that the industry to industry, they prefer few of the frameworks, in a few such frameworks which we see that LangGraph, CrewAI, and AutoGen, and the LangChain, which is top of on the LangGraph only. So LangGraph as the agentic frame, which is ideas came from the LangChain technology only. So LangGraph is a which is maintained by the LangChain team itself. And AutoGPT is one of the very useful agentic platform. Many of the companies are which is looking into the AutoGPT and the CrewAI, and along with the AutoGen as well. So these are the top five frameworks which many of the people are utilizing for their the current solutions. So many of the people, like in where I was working for in a the two of the customers where we were developing these agentic frameworks with the multiple the proof of concepts along with that, and we have successfully deployed the applications, and we are trying to monitor we are monitoring those applications as well. So I will show you that like in how we are going to utilize this LangChain and AutoGPT and the CrewAI parts. So along with that, if we see that to maintain this the frameworks, we required few of cloud services, right? Like in where these services will be developed, where these services will be available, which we everyone has to know that. So this is where we are going to teach you of that, like in a completely end to end the agentic framework. So which is a framework we need to be chosen. So once you choose the framework, as for your cloud service, like and as for your industry service, so there some might they will be they will be prefer on the Amazon Web Services. Sometimes they some industries they prefer on the Azure based cloud service. As we are the Gen AI engineer, or as we are the AI developers, which we have to know the end to end services information for this both cloud platform, because we cannot tell them if I'm the expert on the AWS, if other organization can be focused on only on the AWS because of as for their security protocols, as for their the the financially the as for their commitments with the particular cloud services as a business requirement. So every organization they have own dependency, right? So as we are the AI developers, we have to know the both the knowledge and the cloud services. So this is what we are going to show them, like in a if you are going to create a one agentic AI framework. So when you choose the AWS services, okay, so what how we are going to choose and how we are going to deploy, okay, how to select the framework and how to choose the model ID, which is the right model ID. So which are all the things which we are going to see that now. So let's see the first initially go with the AWS services. So as I told you that if we are in the AWS services, there are multiple services which we have, right? So as for their roles and responsibilities, so they work on their particular resource. Like some people, DevOps teams, they work on the CI/CD pipeline. So they primarily go with the ECS services, and they go with the ECR, Elastic Container Resources, or EC2 services, or VPC. Okay, so as you are the AI developers, like and you might have to work on the two major services in the cloud. One is SageMaker, and another one is the Bedrock services. So what is SageMaker services? Like SageMaker is the kind of like which you are going to of which you are going to write your Python scripts, which you are going to implement your agentic frameworks in your SageMaker pipeline. So let's see how this SageMaker will looks. So all this like I'm not going to deep dive like but these are the important services which is every developer they expect them their developers to write their codes or to maintain everything onto these particular services only. Okay, so as before you start any AWS services, you have to know the knowledge of the SageMaker pipelines and Bedrock services. This is how the SageMaker the application services will looks. So here if we go with that, where you will be have the multiple features to create your notebook and the specific location and the specific domain. Okay, it's trying to load the page. Yeah, here you can going to show the various details. So like generally as you whenever you wanted to write some Python script, what you do, you go locally and you open the Jupyter notebook and you write it. But this is all you are going to maintain in the cloud services which you see here. Okay, all the services which you are all the codes which you are going to run by the cloud. So this is the one of the important role one of the important services which we need to know, before we start into the agentic frameworks as well, because all the setups and all the frameworks which is pre-inbuilt, pre-installed in this particular notebook services. So going back to here, so where you can create your notebook instances by clicking of this create notebook instant, and you can select the instant type, and you can start your services whenever you are not feeling like and you wanted to stop this notebook services, you can click it and you can turn off these actions as well. So this is one of the primary services which you required as an A developer or as an Gen AI developer, which I wanted to tell you. Along with that, one of the important services, Amazon Bedrock services. Everyone is talking about this large language models, right? Everyone is talking about this agentic frameworks as well. So if you are going to use the AI or like an the agentic AI or like in a LangGraph, all these frameworks which is will be implemented with this Amazon Bedrock services. If the company is looking for utilizing only the AWS services, then all the large language models will be presented in the Amazon Bedrock services. So this is the many of the interviews they ask you that, okay, how did you implement your LLMs? Okay, how did you implement your Gen AI applications in your industry? So this is where the interest on showing them like not in the open source, like where I worked with the Amazon Bedrock services, which I went and I've seen the fountain models as a model catalog, where you will see the plenty of LLM models. Like, can you see the total 203 LLM models which are presented in the model catalog? See, all these models are the large language models. So one model, you can see that each model have their own strength and their own kind of solving the process, solving the problem. So like in some LLMs will work only for the text generation, code generation, or like an agentic computer users, which you can see that agentic frameworks where you can utilize. And Nova Pro and DeepSeek, Cloud 3.78 and 3.5 IQ, okay, 3.5 Sonate, V2, V1, Opus, IQ, Sonate, and everything, all the models which you can see here. So we have to choose the what kind of the application which we are going to choose that. Okay, so for example, if I wanted to uh, do the some of the GenAI chatbots where it has to do the some audio analysis, like in whether the speech recognition belongs to the which person, like in whether this our the organization person, or which is then unauthorized persons also, which we can see that. So if I click this model, which you are going to see, okay, which you are going to see all the informations about, like in the model details, like in the model version, model catalog, all these details will be presented. So this is something which you are going to learn how to create these models, and how to which of the information which we need to utilize from this here, like in how to implement in your coding part. So all these steps which we are going to learn in the next the 3 days of the bootcamp classes, like in next to 4 days of the bootcamp classes, each and every model which you are going to learn, and the real time information of the all the models which we do in the industry, which you people are going to do from with us. Okay, so like you can see this, what is a model ID. So this is how you need to pick up, because all the details will be presented, but we don't know which is the model information we need to pick up to set up this process. Like in as example, I just wanted to show you. So this is the one of the frameworks, like as NLP to SQL. Okay, where create you just provide the just natural language question. Can you write me the code for, like, can you provide me the details for the particular the Hyderabad location, or like in a US, like in Texas location, what is the sales of this particular the particular region. So it will do the query, and it will provide you the complete
Yeah,
information. So
Nitin, so can
this
you
is
check your mic
where
because it's
we
your voice is
implement with
breaking.
this applications.
Hello.
So you can see all this Azure chart open AIs and everything which will be implemented here. And you can see with the Crew CrewAI as well. So this is every CrewAI, like in every agentic frameworks as well. All these services which we work with, the few of them with the Azure platform, few of them with the the with the Amazon web. All about like yeah. How about now? Sure. Hello, Mr.
Yeah, Venkatesh, it's
Hello.
good now. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good now.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Cool. Yeah. I will reshare my screen. I'm sorry. Okay. Perfect. So as you see, this all the kind of like the coding parts which we will implement and which you are going to show them. So as a part of LangGraph, like in which you can see that in LangGraph, how the flow will be there. So everything which you are going to learn from us, like in a to make that. So as I shown you, this is from the model, like in a, which you are seeing this the details, right? Model ID and everything. So all these details will be fetched from the particular the service catalog only. Okay, so if you want to create some embeddings as well, so you have to go back model catalog, and you need to select the embeddings, and then you will see the list of GenAI embeddings, like where you can create the numerical text to the numerical information. This is where the Titan multimodal embeddings, so Titan embeddings G1 embedded English, like this is a Coera embeddings actually. So all this kind of different the models which you are going to learn from us, like in the upcoming days. And along with that, one more important, that sometimes you might have to work with the playground within the service as well. So how to create this playgrounds, like, and you have to go back and you have to select this playground, and you have to select the models as well here. So these are the some of, like in a models will be enabled to you, some models will not be enabled here, so which we have to select here as per our the models which is provided here. So then you can apply. Okay, you can interact here these bots as well directly. So these are the kind of some interesting things which you are going to learn as a part of Gen AI with this bootcamp structure, where we have planned end to end, like in from the day one to day end, what you are good, like in how you are going to learn along with this. So this is, you can see the replay, everything. So you can ask something as well. It's like in a which based on your information, it will summarize the text and everything. So you can set up your own the prompting, like in the playground informations as well. So this is also very important for us as we are into the Gen AI in the part of that. So not only this here, and you can see that the agentic tools as well. So where few of the agent tools which will be available, and which you can see here, all the agentic informations as well. And this is a something which we are going to see, like in with the model catalog, how you are going to choose the model, and which model will be suitable for your user application, all the details which we are going to learn from our upcoming sessions. And the next thing, if everything is fine with the code, and we choose the models from the model catalog as an Amazon Bedrock services, so how do we deploy these services? So this is where interesting part will also come, right? As an industry peoples, they look from the candidate who are the person who can build from the scratch, build from the end to end, who can take care entire the model, the steps, right? So this is where the part will come, where you are going to do with the Langfuse. This is also will be developed by the LangChain, so which is can be handled with the LangGraph. So where you are going to see the list of all the details and everything. So this is how we are going to trace your services and everything. So as soon as you request the services, which everything information will be maintained, which will be seen from here. So that you can able to track your information, how much the cost is happened, which step which is running, like what to do, and everything will be handled from here. Okay, so like this we are going to do, we are going to learn all of these services from the upcoming session, like in upcoming days, with the Langfuse and everything. So this is where you will be going to show the more interest on this Langfuse side as well. So uh, and the playground, like in a where you are going to provide the system, is the one which we have seen in the AWS service, right? Which you are going to type, and you are going to get the information as well. Along with that, few of the informations which you are going to do, yeah, models as well, you can configure, like, and you are going to learn how to configure the model from the Langfuse. This is how we maintain all the models, like we choose the model from the Amazon services or the AWS services, then those models will be configured through the Langfuse. So these models will be connected to the via AWS with the API configuration. So which you can see that input and output price, all the things which will be calculated and which will be tracked by the team. Okay, this is where the LLM ops engineers will comes into the play role, because the people who develop this LLM applications, so they have to maintain the services as well. So these are the couple of services which you are going to learn from the industry peoples, okay, from this boot camp. So this is the something which you are going to learn. Along with that, a few of the popular services as well, like an Amazon Open Search, like an indexes as well, how to create the vector database, like in a PG vectors from the PG vectors and everything which you are going to see here as well. So these are the kind of some interesting things which you are going to learn. So generally everyone knows the SQL and everything, they will be do that, okay, but from the information which we are going to do the embeddings, okay, those embeddings which has to be do that, like many of the people see semantic search embeddings and everything, right? So the one of the vector database like ChromaDB, Pinecone and everything will be going to discuss by the next few minutes with the Ganesh, which are going to talk more on. So but this is how we are going to maintain in the real time cases as well. See, many people, they see that like why do I wanted to invest more, the commercial point of view. So which is the best resource which I can get the minimal price, or which I can save as in a financially as well. Like this is how the architect and the business team people also will look at. This is where the ideas will come from the PG admin. Why cannot I go with the PG admin instead of like having the ChromaDB or Pinecone or as a vector database as a Azure OpenSearch indexes as well. Okay, this is how you create and you source for all the textual informations, and you're going to load it and you are going to do the from the agentic platforms. So all these are the things which you are going to learn in the upcoming session. So this is from the Amazon side. So and we are going to see the similarly from the Azure side as well, where you will be having the list of Azure AI services, where you are going to learn what is customer custom vision in the bootcamp, and how to create the model catalog from the Azure AI services. So all these the kind of services which you are going to learn from the both Amazon Web Services and Azure Cloud Services as well. So let me share my the screen of the course agenda. Let's give a moment. If anyone have any queries, please feel free to message in the chat room, so that I will try to address for all your queries. So this is the kind of the 5 days course camp which will really helpful for the people who are going to get into this agentic, because as we also see this is the new for industry. So we also started from the 4 months as we are working with the industry, where we have delivered these applications which we have shown and we have told them which agentic framework will be suitable as for their business requirement. So this is where the people will show the interest, right? You can showing them what is going to be interest, because every agentic framework will want to be works. And if I wanted to go with that, the more kind of more kind of agentic steps which I wanted to involve, or in a more customized things which I wanted to add into the my agentic framework. So LangGraph is the one of the best framework where you can going to do the more agentic, like in a more agentic controlled, more customized flow based approach. Okay, so this is what organization will expect. But the one drawback from the LangGraph is where you have to write the more number of lines of code here. So this is where something which is like little drawback, right, where you can do the more customization steps, but only the thing, number of lines of code will be increases here. Everything you have to set up from the for each and every line of code. But when you go with the CrewAI, so where you can build the agentic platform with a minimal code, with the 10 to 15 lines of code, with you can build everything which you don't need to spend much of time as well. But only the thing is that it is a limitation for the custom tools, where you cannot do the more customization things actually. This is the one few drawbacks from the agent to agent. So we have to understand based on our based on our current application, which is the agentic framework which we are going to learn. So these are the kind of interesting tips and interesting conference pages which we have developed and which we are going to demonstrate in the upcoming things as well. So if you see the 5 days of course plan, like we are going to started with the foundation and core concepts. Like this is the where we have seen that, what type of the agentic frameworks we have, what are the cloud sources we have, along with that inside the cloud, like in what type of the services which we have supposed to choose for to implement. So kind of like an Amazon Bedrock services and SageMaker, and choosing the model catalog, along with the Langfuse, where you are once you deploy this LLM models, how do you track those details, and how do you set up the model, the kind of model configurations in the Langfuse, like in the prompt information. So everything which can be learned, which we have seen in the just starting of the now. I'm just going to give to the Ganesh as well. So Ganesh will deep dive into this particular agentic frameworks in detail, and along with that he is going to explain. So this is what about the day one. And the day two, which you are going to see that, we are going to learn from the one of the LangGraph with the Lang chain, where you are going to develop a couple of POCs, like how from the scratch, and building the UI structure as well, where how to control the step by step, and how do you add your custom agent, custom database, you have one data source in the SQL, you have another data source in the PDF documents, you have another data source in the Oracle database, each and every data which is contained in the different data containers. So now you have to bring that into the single container. If someone asks the questions, where your centralized containers will have to monitor and will have to connect with the particular the data source to get the right information. This is what the agentic, the frameworks which is going to helpful. That is what you are going to build in the LangGraph, where we are going to show them the flow constructions with the state management, each and every state, what could be the execution has to be happen in the particular state, fetching up the data. Our next statement is to validate those particular data statement, and then providing the final as a step as a summarize the entire the information. That is the final state. Like we are going to develop all the state managements with the implementing of various reasoning loops as well. And as I told you that we are going to develop the couple of POCs in the LangGraph as well. Then coming to the third day, we are going to start with the CrewAI, which is one of the industry experienced person. Narayana is going to take your classes, where you have developed successfully the CrewAI with the multiple POCs from the financial sector and the healthcare sector as well, uh, collecting the solving the employees the various queries, creating this agentic tool, where it has been this agentic tool which has integrated with the ADP payroll system. So every organization have their own payroll systems, right, where the employees will coordinate, employees will download their pay slips or all kind of employee informations will be presented in there. If anyone having their queries also, they need to come back to the platform, and they need to have a trigger the complaint. So these complaint will have taken some certain time, and it has to address to the right directory, right department, then only you will get the solution. So it is in a time taken process. So these are the some kind of interesting things which is developed already by the Narayana. We're addressing with this agentic frameworks, which is the right department to identify and how to track these informations, and how to address these solutions, everything which has with the previous historical information, where he created the agentic role to address this solution as well. And some of the concepts, the MCP frameworks as well, which is going to teach by the Pranay. So he is also one of the AI expert, which is going to show you them with the MCP protocols, and what kind of, how do you optimize this model, all the fine tuning steps, taking of windows and memory caches information. All these steps will be, we are going to discuss with this model context protocol frameworks, along with you are going to do with the hands-on experience. So all this each and every day we are going to do with the hands-on experience. So this is where you will learn, we will learn together, so that we can make something. So whenever we are attending for this interview, I completed this boot camp with this KKR, with having this particular cloud services as an Amazon Web Services or Azure Web Services. So with that we have implemented, and we have created with this popular popular agentic frameworks with the LangGraph or CrewAI or AutoGen frame. So we have developed with this framework, which we have seen that, and we have telling that this is a particular framework which will be suitable for if we have this particular XYZ the questionnaires. So this is where we are going to tell them. This is where we are going to get the confidence to the our while you are attending to the interviews as well. So this is what we wanted to show them as a real time knowledge which we wanted to bring to this boot camp as a session. Along with that, and the fifth day, which I'm going to take you that the Langfuse, which we have seen that how do you configure your models, how do you maintain your prompts. So like for example, so as we seen in the Langfuse, which you can see here, so all these prompts can be maintained by this information. So how do you going to maintain these prompts and everything which will be going to see that. Okay, so with the version based approaches and everything which we are going to learn together, so and how to optimize and how to evaluation metrics like in LLMs, like in how do you like in we have already know that in the machine learning and deep learning we use metrics for the accuracy scores and ROC and R squared scores and everything. But when coming to the Gen AI based applications, so we have some other metrics, right? Some of the specific metrics whether to handle this summarizations of this the AI solutions, like where you use the Rogue and Belu scores, all kind of informations which we are going to, we are the metrics which we are going to learn on that, and along with that deployment strategies also which we are going to learn with this LLMs. And one more important, on the day fifth we are going to learn how to control the citations, how to control these hallucinations in the LLM. So this is a very very important which we are going to learn on the day fifth. Along with that, how do you do the regression testing, what is mean by the regression testing, that we all knows the regression testing which we do by the functions which we see that this is what the input, this is what the expected output, so this is how we do the regression testing. But when we're working with these agentic frameworks, when we're working with the Gen AI, how we are going to do the regression testing that. So I have done my prompt. This is when I was running for 10 times, I'm able to get the 10 times is the right answer. So this is what I can tell that. So these are the kind of interesting tips and everything which we are going to learn on the day fifth as well. Okay, all the deployment and the key strategies as you to or like to handle these prompts and everything we are going to learn from this. Okay, so this is how we have the structure of the things we covering off all the frameworks with the in detail with the project basis of each and every day. Okay, so if anyone have any questions, anything like can do, let me know. I will try to address, and I'm handing the session to the Ganesh now. So Ganesh will going to explain you more in detail about this agentic frameworks. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, Venkatesh, I think I'm unmuting Ganesh. Ganesh, are you there?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, are you able to unmute? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, before I just Ganesh, 1 minute. I see some of the comments from the Krishna. Yeah, can we understand these topics if we have a basic knowledge on ML and AI? Yes, Krishna, definitely. Our this boot camp we planned from the scratch was the person having the minimal knowledge of the AI will be sufficient here. So we are going to teach you everything from this boot camp, like with the more clearly, precisely, and along with that you we will have an individual courses for this, like you can contact to our support team as well, where they can provide you the more details about this the course curriculums as well. So you will get the complete knowledge on things. Go ahead, Ganesh.
Ganesh, are you able to unmute? Ganesh, are you able to
Yeah,
unmute?
yeah,
Yeah.
so now I can able to unmute. Yeah, hello everyone. Good morning to the people in United States and good evening to the people in India. So, first of all, thank you everyone for joining this bootcamp on AI agents. So today class won't going to be the coding stuff. So first we'll try to get the foundational knowledge about AI agents, and then from tomorrow we'll try to understand about how to implement AI agents with agentic frameworks, and then we'll try to understand about how to create AI agents with the low code tools and all. Today, so we'll start with getting foundational knowledge about AI agent. Okay, so let me share my screen. I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yeah, Ganesh, we can.
Yeah. So what we are talking about today, so it's AI agents. So what is AI agents at first? So these are basically intelligent software systems that can act on their own to solve problems and make decisions. Okay, so they are intelligent software systems that can act on their own to solve problems and make decisions. Like unlike regular softwares, which follows strict step-by-step instructions, but AI agents can actually perceive what's happening around them, think about it, and then take action. Okay, so traditional softwares are like step-by-step approach. So we'll give the instructions and the software will work based on our instructions. But AI agents have the capability to make its own decisions to perform some task. Okay, so just think about it like across different industries like customer service, healthcare, logistics, and finance. So we are seeing the systems which can work independently and make decisions without having someone to press some button or give some commands every step of the way. So AI agencies are not like that. So they have the capability to think independently and make decisions based on the situation. Okay. So what makes today's discussion especially interesting is that we are not just not only talking about AI agents, but get to know about some AI agentic frameworks and what are the advancements in this field. Okay. So these are actually currently are out there in the current market doing some real work. Okay. So they are getting smarter and more capable every day. Okay. Before we dive deeper, so I'm curious to understand. So how many of you have interacted with an AI agent? Maybe a customer service agent or a virtual assistant like Alexa or Siri, or how many of you have worked with AI agent before? Can I see that in the chart? How many of you know exactly about AI agents? Yeah, thanks for the response.
Yeah, I think many are responding over the chat, Ganesh, because we muted
Yes,
them.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying that. So many of them having knowledge about, and people are not having knowledge about. Someone are freshers. That's good actually. Okay, so great. So you people are having some experience with AI agents or not having some experience with AI agents. That's fine. So today we'll explore how they work, the different types, and where this technology is heading towards. So first, let's talk about what actually makes something an AI agent. So I mean, what are the key characteristics which defines AI agents? First and foremost, importantly, we have autonomy. So autonomy means these AI agents they can operate independently without constant human intervention. So there is no need to be having some human in between and assisting it. Okay, it has the capability to operate independently. So an AI agent, so that it doesn't need someone telling it what to do this, do that, and all. It can execute complex tasks based on its objectives. So this is what AI agents are different from the traditional software systems, which waits just for the commands. Okay. So the main core difference here between the traditional softwares and AI agents are, so traditional softwares works based on the step-by-step instructions, but AI agents having capability of thinking and performing the task independently. Then we have perception. So agents have ways to sense the environment through various data inputs and sensors. Okay, so these could be like cameras and microphones for physical robots. So AI robots are also a kind of AI agents. So for robots, so we have cameras and microphones. So it will detect the environment inside, surrounding it, right? And if you go to the software agents, so it will fetch the environment conditions through API connections and data feeds. So this is how they understand what's happening around them. Next, decision making agents. So, so this is the most important part. So agent process information through sophisticated algorithms. Okay, so AI agent making the decisions and it is thinking independently and performing tasks, right? So how it is thinking, what's the brain behind it means uh, some LLMs, some machine learning algorithms, deep learning algorithms, generative AI, transformers, these things. So these AI agents process this information through these algorithms to select the best actions based on available data. So there is some data, and based on that available data, it will select the best actions. Next, we have adaptability. So agents learn from the experiences and improve based on it, and improve over time based on it. So this means they get better at their jobs. The more they do, they perform better. Okay. So we also have actions. So agents execute responses based on their decisions, right? So it will make some decisions, right? So these decisions will be executed. These are called actions. So the actions could be like sending commands. So if it is a physical robot, so moving some items physically. If it is a software agent, so generating some text or other outputs, right? So, okay, let me tell you one example to understand all of these four, like autonomy, perception, decision making, adaptability. Okay, so you all know about self-driving car, right? So a self-driving car, so it demonstrates by navigating roads with human control, right? So it doesn't need someone pressing the steering or turning the steering wheel, pressing the accelerator, right? It handles the task independently, right? So So that is what we call as autonomy. So independently, it is handling the task. It is turning the wheel and it is pressing the accelerator. Everything doing independently. So that's what we call as autonomy. And for perception, perception in the sense sensing the environment, right? So for self-driving car, it has multiple sensors. So cameras detect lane markings, traffic signals, and 3D maps of surroundings. And some radars detect other vehicle speeds, and GPS determines locations, right? So all these work together to create a complete picture of the environment. So this is what we call perception. Okay. And in terms of decision making, so the car AI, so Tesla car has some AI inside it. So it constantly process sensor data to determine the best actions. That means, so after fetching environment information, so it makes some decision. Should I change lanes or should I slow down? Should I speed up? Should I make a turn? So this AI evaluates numerous factors like traffic flow, safety distance, some weather conditions, road conditions, okay, and navigation goals to make these decisions in real time and action. So action in the sense, so when the car actually execute these decisions, so first it will make decisions, right? Okay, so the current weather is not good, so we need to slow down. Okay, so within 2 miles we need to turn right. So first it will make the decisions and then it performs some actions. Like if it faces any speed breaker, then it will apply brakes or accelerating, steering, signaling turns, everything. That means what it's doing, it's physically moving through the world. It is moving you from one place to another place. That is its end goal, right? So you started from place A, you want to go to the place B. So the car is making every decision and it is driving you from place A to place B, right? Everything through AI. Next, we have adaptability. So adaptability comes into play when the car learns from the experiences. So it improves its driving by analyzing the past trips and adjusting its behavior. For example, if it is braked too hard at once, it might learn next time to start braking earlier very next time. Okay. So if it misjudges the speed of merging traffic at later stages, so it adjusts its parameters for future similar kind of situations. Okay. So handling learning from the experiences, thinking about the mistakes and correcting it at the next time. So that is called as adaptability. So AI has its own learning experiences from the past history. Okay, so all these characteristics work together in a continuous cycle. So this perception, decide, decision, action, learning, repeat. So this is what makes a self-driving car a true AI agent. Okay. Next, AI agent spectrum. So these AI agents comes in different levels. Okay, there are different kinds of AI agents. So we'll see one by one. First, at the most basic level, so we'll go from bottom to top. Okay, at first basic level, we have something called reactive agents. So reactive agents means they simply respond to stimuli in predefined ways without any memory of past interactions. That means they follow some basic principle. If this happens, then do that one. If this happens, then perform this thing. Okay. Like, for example, in your home, there will be a thermostat, right? So if temperature drops, then it will turn on the heating automatically, right? So no memory, no learning, just reactions. Based on some particular situations, it performs some task. If under this condition, if this happens, then do that. So these are called reactive agents. Next, moving up, we have goal-based agents. So these goal-based agents, these maintains internal things of the world. That means these agents consider what will happen if I do this before acting. Okay, reactive agents. So if thing happens, then do that thing. They're directly based on the situations they are acting. But goal-based agents are not like that. So they'll think before act. So what will happen if I do this before acting? So like similarly in a self-driving car, so you are navigating from one place to another, right? So it's a good example actually. So you want to reach from place A to place B. There may be n directions. There may be n routes. Okay, it will think so. On which route, if I go, if I start moving, so that will be good. So for example, in there is a route A, route B, and route C. For example, there is a more traffic in route B. So then it is so route A and route C is the best choice right here. So the AI agent makes its own decision here. But and we have two routes now, A and C. And it thinks, okay, AI, if I go to the route A, then we need to cover 5 miles. If I go to the route C, I need to cover route 7 miles. So here route A is the optimal way. So it chooses the route A and go in that path, right? So these are goal-based agents. Before acting, they'll think what will happen if I do this. Okay. Next are utility-based agents. So what these agents do means they rank potential outcomes based on some metrics. Okay. That means these don't just achieve goals, but it will try to maximize the value. Okay. Think about an example, delivery drone. So we know about drones, right? So think about delivery drones. So it considers, so it will deliver some products from place A to place B, right? So it will consider before delivering, it will consider factors like distance, weather conditions, battery life of that road, and some time constraint to choose the most efficient route. Okay, so it will consider all the factors and it will rank all the factors, and based on the ranking, it will make this decision. Okay, so it will try to get the maximum value out of the task it performed. So those are utility based agents, and we have something called learning agent. So these learning agents improve performance over time through experiences. Okay, they can adapt to new situations and get better with each and every interaction. Example is something like Netflix recommendation system. So the more you watch, the better it understand your preferences and suggest you the most relevant ones. So those are learning agents. Okay. And apart from this, we have multi-agent systems also. That means where multiple AI agents work together to complete your task. So this is where actually things get really interesting. Take an example. So there is a team of some specialized agents working together. Some good at doing research, and some agents good at writing the things, and another agent is good at creating visuals. So all coordinating each other to complete some complex task. For example, you are working on writing a research paper. So one agent will do research for you, one agent will do writing for you, one agent will make documentation for you. Okay. So these three agents combine together and work together to make your task easier. So it's like having a whole company of AI specialists with you. Okay. Rather than just one personal assistant. So there is a team of AI agents. All are doing the task for you combinedly. Yeah. Now, one question may arise in your minds now. Can we create one agent for us? The answer is yes, you can. We will see that on how to create these agents from class day 2. But now let's focus on understanding about these AI agents at first. Okay. I understand there are people who knows coding and people who doesn't know coding. So we'll discuss both the things. At first, we'll go through how to design AI agents with agentic frameworks, and also next we'll discuss about how to design AI agents without coding. Okay, so there are low code tools or no code tools. So it helps us to create AI agents without writing single line of code. Just with the prompts, we can create an AI agent. So let's discuss those in the next classes, how to do that at all. Next, what are the building blocks of AI agents? Okay, so first let's explore what are the key technologies that cover today's most advanced AI agents. So first we need to understand about what are the technologies involved with this AI agents. Okay. At core, at first, so we know, so this modern AI agents or the current AI field is revolving around LLMs, large language models, right? So what are these large language models? So we know these are neural networks which process some information and it generate text like human-like understanding, right? So actually, these LLMs form the foundation of many AI agents. So giving the capability to AI agents to understand some requests, process informations, and generate responses. So in today's world, we have many LLM models, right? Like GPT-4, Claude, Gemini. So these are the brains behind AI agents, which will interact with you. Then we have function calling. So this is what allows agents to connect with external tools and APIs. Okay. That means we are extending AI agent capabilities beyond just processing some language. So let me explain you with some simple example. Okay. So imagine you ask an AI agent, what's the weather going to be this weekend in Chicago? Okay. My question is, what's the weather going to be this weekend in Chicago? Okay, so imagine we don't have a function calling in between. So what the AI agent do is, so first, your AI agent would be limited to give you general information only without function calling. Okay, so it is limited to give you general information based on what it learned during training. Okay, for example, if you go to ChatGPT and ask some general questions, it will answer you, right? So, for example, in ChatGPT, you ask about what is generative AI, it will you it will give some answer, right? Okay, if you go and ask, okay, do coding for this, it will do it. But if you ask the AI agent, okay, I mean ChatGPT, how many people are there in my home? Will it answer it? It don't know, right? And also, if you uh, ask some unknown questions to it. If you ask some personal questions, your chat GPT or your AI agent don't know about your personal information, right? So here, with the functional calling, so we are giving the agent to access the other APIs or databases and fetch some unknown information from other things, from other tools. Okay. So let's imagine now we have function calling. So then what will happen is, so first the AI agent recognize, okay, this is a weather related question about some specific location and time, right? Some specific location. What's the location here? Chicago. And time. So what's the time the user is asking about? This weekend. Okay. First, it automatically decides to call an external weather API. So the here the tool is weather API, external weather API. First, it formats the proper API request with parameters like some location is Chicago and time is this weekend. Then the weather service, it returns the current forecast data. That means, so here the AI agent translate the technical data into natural response. So first, it will hit the weather API, and inside the weather API, the information will be processed and it will return you the responses. What will be the response here? Okay, so this weekend in Chicago will be mostly sunny with high clouds around 75 degrees Fahrenheit on Saturday and 30% chance of rain on Sunday. So this kind of some weather prediction will be given. Okay, so how it is predicting that weather? So it doesn't know the information about the Chicago weather this weekend, right? So what it is doing, it is hitting the external weather API and it's fetching some information and giving you that information, and you are getting that information, right? So this is the tool associated with your AI agent here. Okay, so there are n number of tools like that. Okay, so all this happens in within very fast, right? Within seconds. So this function calling, giving the AI agents the ability to use different tools. So what may be the different other tools? So it may be a calculator, a search engine, weather service, a calendar service. Okay. We are extending our AI agent capabilities far beyond what is being pre-trained on it. Okay. At first, it is pre-trained on only with the LLM. So if you hitting some LLM API, so it is limited with the API LLM knowledge only. But when you use these tools and when you use some external knowledge bases, so you are extending the AI agent capability here. Okay. Okay. Let me ask you one question about this function
Yeah.
calling on tools.
Ganesh, are you able to share the screen? Because I see.
Yes, I'm sharing my screen.
Okay.
But I'll share it again.
Yeah.
Can you see the screen now?
Maybe I have some issues. Is other able to see?
Let me see the chart.
Okay. Okay. I think you're
Yeah.
good, Ganesh. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, let me ask you one question now. Um, how many different tools do you think your ChatGPT or any LLM model can connect to? So, how many different tools do you think your ChatGPT or Claude or any LLM model can connect to through this function calling? I mean, just simple question. How many different tools currently in the market so that your LLM model can able to connect to other services? Is there any guess? thousands and numbers to multiple. Yes. Yeah. No idea. Yeah. Yeah. Meaning 8,000. Yeah. So the exact answer is the correct answer is it's not hundreds or thousands. So the correct answer is growing every day. Okay, it's already in the hundreds, but it is growing every day. Every day, new tools coming up and adding to that. Okay, so we can't even. So today there will be one count. Tomorrow is other count, and next week. So the count is increasing. So the answer is growing every day. It's multiple tools. So based on your use case, you need to research about the specific tool you want to integrate it with. Yeah. So next, we'll talk about another critical component, which is called RAG, Retrieval-Augmented General. Okay. Yeah, RAG. So RAG means Retrieval Augmented Generation. So this is the full form. So what does this RAG mean? So, so these RAG systems enables agents to access and leverage external knowledge bases. Let me explain you this RAG with some simple example. Okay. Let's say one company creating an AI agent to help the customer service representatives answer some questions about their products. Okay, AI agent. So one company A is going to create an AI agent, so which is going to help the customer service people. Okay, to answer questions about their products. First, let's see a scenario without RAG. So if there is no RAG system, then the agent would be limited to general knowledge only about the product. Okay, so there will be some training data. So with the training data, and the agent would be limited to the general knowledge only about some products, about its products, which might be maybe outdated. So if you train your AI agent with some data, maybe in future your data may be outdated, right, or incomplete. So you may want to add some external data, or your products are changing every day, right? So if you train with some particular data only, so then your agent would be limited to some specific knowledge only. Okay. But if you have RAG with your AI agent, then the company can connect the agent to your up-to-date product up-to-date product things. Let's say you have some product manuals, you have some pricing information about your manuals and some support documentation. So the product prices and information would be different from company to company, right? So you are having some company and your product, let's say you are having product A, B, C. So you have different pricing levels, right? Your friend company may have different pricing levels, right? So it may differ from company to company, right? Okay. So you if you integrate the rack system with your company, so then your agent has the up-to-date information about your documentations, product manuals, pricing information. So whenever a customer comes and asks you about how do I troubleshoot for, let's say, you are having electronic company and some customer comes here to your application and asks some question. See, I bought HP printer from your company, so I'm having some issue. So how do I troubleshoot the flashing red light? Okay, I'm getting some flashing red light on my HP printer. So what should I do? What is the troubleshooting solution here? So there's some customer asking you like this. Okay, then I mean you in the sense the RAG application. So the RAG system first, the rack system converts the question into, so what's the thing happening behind this? The rack system convert your question into some mathematical representation, okay? That means vectors. And why it is converting the mathematical representations? As a human, we can learn English, we know English, we can see it, right? But computer won't understand the human language, right? It first need to convert it into numbers and then it need to process, right? So your RAG system convert the question into mathematical representation and searches through the company technical documentation. Why? For getting some relevant information. So your RAG system is having your company documentation. So that's why your RAG is converting the question and searching through the database, your company database. Okay. What it do, it finds some specific information about the query. So what's the query here? Query is about flashing red light on the HP printer, right? So then it will go and search for the troubleshooting issues. So if the situation happens, so what's the solution? So it fetches that information, and this information will be provided to the LLM along with your original question. Then LLM generates the response using that specific information which it fetched before from the database. Okay. So first you will ask the question, and the RAG system will go and search about that question, and with the response and your question will be given to the LLM model. The LLM model will process the question and it will give you a specific response about the question. So the response would be like in a human understandable language once again. So it should be something like, okay, the flashing red light on your HP it indicates something like paper jam. Okay, so you can resolve this by opening the back panel of your HP printer and remove any stuck paper inside it. Okay, it will give you a solution like that based on your question. So this way, so the beauty of RAG is it allows the agents to provide accurate information and also the specific information which is not part of your original training before. Okay. If you have any other similar documents or any pricing information or any information which is related to your company only, your specific company only, you can train that to the RAG application. You can store that in the database and ask the RAG to fetch the information from the database. Okay. And then we have multi-agent systems. So these are uh, very specialized agents. So as we talked about before about multi-agent systems, so these are very specialized agents. It can collaboratively uh, work together to perform some task. Okay. So this diagram which you are seeing now. So this is a technical diagram of how the RAG works actually. Okay. Now we'll see about this technical diagram. At first you see, so the RAG process happens in two main phases. First, first phase is document retrieval and ingestion, and second phase is user query and response generation. Okay, in the first phase, we start with enterprise knowledge base. So if you see this database diagram, so this is the enterprise knowledge base. So this is your database. Okay, so this could be, you need to um, so this database contains some internal documents or your product manuals or some research papers or anything or any collection of information what you have, what you think valuable for your AI agents. Okay, every information will be stored inside this knowledge base. Okay, so after storing the information inside it, so your AI agent can't simply they can't simply read this document like what we can able to, right? So the system needs to process something, right? So you don't understand the general English. You need to process your text information into numbers. So that's how that your system or your software works, right? Understands the things, right? So what will happen at next is, so at first, what happens is your documents are retrieved through yeah. So if you talk about some technical terms, so there is a framework called LangChain. So with the help of LangChain, you will supply the documents to your system. Okay, you have some documents, right, with the help of LangChain framework. So we'll discuss about that LangChain framework in the next class. Okay, so this LangChain, with the help of this LangChain framework, you will go and push the documents. Okay, you first ingest the documents. Okay, then what we will do is, so these documents are passed to the embedding models. Okay, so first we will retrieve the documents and then it will pass us to a embedding model. Okay, so This embedding model, so this is a crucial steps, okay? This embedding model converts the textual information into numerical representation, which we call as vectors. Okay, so your documents contain some textual information, right? So these will be converted into numerical representations. So in generative AI terms or in AI terms, we call it as a vector. Okay, so what it is doing here? So it is converting or translating human language into format what machines can work with efficiently. Okay, it converts into its own language. So what's the computer language? Zeros and ones, numerical representations, right? Next one. These document embeddings, then go and store it in the vector database. Okay. First, we are having here some documents, and these documents are converted into the embedding models. These embedding models are then stored into a vector database. We need to store in some database, right? So we call that database as a vector database. Okay. So what's the difference between normal database and your vector databases? So your traditional databases might organize the information by date or tables and rows, columns, right? But vector databases organize information by semantic meaning. That means, so let's say you have some traditional database, some SQL database. So if you add some data to your database, it will store in the form of table, right, rows and columns. The information will be stored in the form of tables, rows, and columns. But in vector database, your information will be organized in the form of semantic way. That means what's the semantic way means? Similar concepts are stored close to each other. Okay, so in your vector database, let's say you have information about animals, you have information about humans, you have information about some electronics. Okay, let's say in the animals region, you have information about cats and dogs. For electronics, you have information about laptop, desktop, mouse, printer, these things. Okay, so the closest words will be stored at one cluster level. Your cat, dog will be stored in one cluster, and the information, I mean, your printer, desktop, these words will be stored in at the other cluster. Okay, so first it will find the relevant words and it will store based on the word relevancy. So that's what the semantic means. So the similar concepts are stored close to each other. So why it is storing the relevant things close to each other means, so it makes possible to find relevant information, right, based on the meaning. So if someone coming and wants to fetch some information about some animals, so without searching through the entire database, it will go to the only animal related cluster and find the information about animals. If the human wants to get know the information about the product related, electronic product related things, instead of going and searching through the entire database, it will go to the electronic cluster and fetch the information from there only. Okay, which is the optimized way of searching the information, right? Next, we have second phase. Okay, the first phase is retrieving the documents and storing it and converting your documents into a numerical representation using embedding models. And this embedding model vectors is stored into a vector database. Okay, so okay, now your vector database is containing some information about your company. Okay, it is contained storing some information about your own documents or specific documents, right? Now, in second phase, let's say um, user asks some question about okay, first user comes here, uh, they'll go through your application, then they are asking some question through your enterprise application. So the first, the query, again, the same thing. The first, when the user asks the question, that question or the query, that will go through the embedding process once again. Because as we discussed it before, your computer or your software or your AI agent system can understand only the numerical representation of your text, right? So whenever you ask some question, your computer won't able to understand it. At first, it needs to convert your question into numerical vectors, and then it needs to search about the information, right? So that's why whenever you go to the enterprise application, whenever the user ask some question, it will go through the same embedding process once again. What it will do is this embedding system, it converts the user question into some type of numerical vector once again, right? Then after converting your text into numerical vector, it then searches the vector database for the most similar vectors to the query. Okay, let's say the user is asking information about what products your company is selling, what products your company is having. So first that question will be converted into the embedding model vectors, and with that vectors, it will go and fetch from this vector database. So you have electronics related cluster, right? It will try to fetch the information from that cluster. Okay, the user is asking about what products your company is having. Okay, so it will go to the first. It will go to that animal cluster. So for the animal, okay, that cluster is related to the animals, right? But the user is asking about products. Okay, electronic products, so that's why it will go to the electronic cluster. Uh, it thought like, okay, this will be, these words are similar to the question which the user is asking. And then it will fetch us the information from that cluster. Okay, my company is having products like a desktop, monitor, keyboard, laptop, all the electronic items, right? So this is how the process happens in a rack actually. Okay. If you want, I can tell you other example also. Okay, let's see some different example now. Let's say a healthcare system. Okay, let's consider a healthcare system. Imagine there is a large hospital. So they implemented an AI system to help the doctors quickly access some relevant medical information. Okay, so the scenario here is there is a large hospital. Okay, there are many doctors inside the hospital. So they implemented the AI agent, so which wants to help those doctors, okay, to quickly find some relevant medical information, right? So at first, this is a large hospital, so there are many doctors, all right. So the hospital has, so the hospital is, maybe let's say the hospital is operating from last 20 years or last 25 years. Okay. So this hospital, maybe they are having decades of medical records. They are having many treatment protocols. They are having many research papers. They are having information about drug information and some other guidelines also. So they are having internally, they are having many documents, right? So it is very difficult for even a human or even for a doctor to memorize that, right? So what will happen if they integrate this rack system with the AI agent? Okay, let's see that. First, there is hospital documents, including all the medical records, treatment guidelines, research papers, everything. Okay, using LangChain, first the system retrieves all these documents, and then this embedded model, it will convert each document into numerical vectors, which captures the medical meanings. Then these vectors will be stored in a vector database. Okay, it will, this vector database, inside it, it organizes information so that medically related concepts will be grouped together in the form of clusters inside your vector database. Okay, now your documents are ready in your vector database. Now for phase two, okay, let's say a doctor treating a patient. Okay, let's say the patient is having, um, okay, let's leave about that. Okay, a doctor is treating a patient. So the doctor came to the AI system and they're asking some question. They don't know about, I mean, treatment guidelines about some one particular issue the patient is having. Let's say the question will be like, what treatment options should I consider? Okay, there is a patient. So let's say he is having 45 years of age. Okay, this patient is having 45 years of age. So he is having some liver issue. Okay, so he is having liver disease or something, but he's, as he is 45 years old, he is not responding to the normal treatment. What should I do? So what are the, is there any other alternative treatments, or is there any history of these situations previously? Okay, so they are asking some question to the AI agent system. Okay, so this patient is having 45 years of age and he is having some liver disease. So I'm treating him, but he's not responding to my treatment. So what are the other ways? Okay, the doctor is asking the AI system, okay, about other solutions. Then what the AI agents will do here is, so the doctor question here, it will transfer to the same embedding process, and this embedding process convert it to a vector, and then the system and this vector will be passed to the vector database, and then your system searches the vector database and it will try to find the most relevant information. So it will go and search through any clinical studies about other treatments for similar kind of problem, or it will search for patients who are having similar kind of issue previously, or it will go through the other case reports, and also it will fetches the some specialist recommendations to cure these patients. Okay, so it will go through the entire database, it will fetches the information, it will fetches your previous case reports and some research papers or some past clinical studies, everything, whatever is stored in your vector database, it will search through the all the things and it will give you the solution. Then here the doctor is getting some other recommendations. He will try to do that. Okay, so this is what happens if you integrate a rack system with an AI agent. If you see about real world applications of AI agents, so what are the other applications? What are the other examples? Means customer service. So we know, so there are virtual assistants or customer service people who will handle inquiries like 24 by 7, right? Reducing wait times, providing good service quality, right? So companies like Bank of America, Capital One, so they are actually using these AI agents to handle thousands of customer interactions daily. So this is one area where the AI agents are implemented now, and other area is autonomous navigation. So like your self-driving cars. So these AI agents will process the sensor data to navigate your vehicles safely, right? And you have financial trading. So your trading agents, so there are trading agents which analyze the market conditions, and then it will execute some transactions and it will process market changes in milliseconds and give you the recent trade changes. Okay, so the customer service, autonomous navigation, financial trading. So beyond these examples, AI agents are also used in healthcare for patient monitoring, and also in agriculture for crop management, uh, in smart homes for energy optimization, and also in the content generation for generating articles, images, and videos, everything. Right? So okay. So now let's discuss about what are the development platforms currently available in the market for creating these AI agents. Okay, so for advanced users or for people who knows coding, so there are frameworks like CrewAI, AutoGen, and agencies for building complex multi-agent systems. And if you see about this, so this is a CrewAI platform. So this is particularly the CrewAI. So this is particularly interesting, very interesting, because it lets you create agents with specific roles working together as a team. For example, let's say um, you want to create a research team. So in the research team, you want to place different agents. Let's say one agent, so it should be a lead researcher, and other agent, it should be perform like a data analyst, and other agent, it should perform like a report writing writer. Okay, so each will do their own specialized, each having their own specialized skills, and each will do their own particular task. Okay, so this website, this CrewAI website, show you how to orchestrate this crew of AI agents to tackle complex tasks. So there is a documentation, beautiful documentation about CrewAI. You can go through this and understand about this. And also there is a platform called AutoGen. So this is a Microsoft-based research. So AutoGen. So it helps you to create conversational AI agents that can talk to each other to solve the problems. Okay. And you have something called agency swarm. So it is a different approach again. So it will help you to create agent structures. Imagine in the way of agentic structures. Imagine you are a CEO. Okay. So your CEO agent at the top, let's say. So in every company there will be CEO, right? He will be at the top of the system. Similarly, there will be a CEO agent at the top, and then it will delegate the tasks to different agents. So as in your company, the CEO will delegate the works to different departments, right? Similarly, the main CEO agent will delegate the work to different specialized agents. So in a structural way, in a hierarchical structural way. So this framework works in that way. And then we have LangChain. So this LangChain, so this is something very important in the current industry standards of building AI applications, your generative AI applications. So their website, so they showcases how set of components working with LLMs and how to integrate document loaders to vector stores, embedding everything. So what makes LangChain powerful is that it can connect to different AI components and work together in the form of chains and agents. Okay. And then we have something called as LangFlow. So it is built on top of LangChain only. So this LangFlow, they will provide you a visual interface. Okay. So this is the home page of the LangFlow. So it will demonstrate you how to create AI agent workflows by just, if you see this, by dragging and dropping components rather than coding. So it is a no-code tool. I'll say this is a low-code tool. So there is a difference between no-code and low-code. So this is a low-code tool which will help you to drag and drop the components and create an AI agent for you. So this is a visual environment specifically for AI agents. And then we have something called LangGraph. So again, LangGraph. So LangGraph actually it extends the LangChain. If you see in the product section of LangChain, so there is a framework field. So in there here you will see the thing called LangGraph. If you click on this, you'll jump into the LangGraph page. So it extends the capability of LangChain by adding the extra capabilities to create more complex agent workflows with multiple steps and some decision points. So this is a true tree-based solution. We know the tree concepts, right, in data structures. So we have node edges, conditional edges. So these frameworks works by using these nodes and edges. Okay. And then similarly, we have platforms like VectorShift, FlowWise, WordPress. So again, these are again no-code tools, no-code platforms, which will help you to develop the AI agents through visual interfaces. Here, there are variety of development options, right? So whether you are a business people, so if you want interface system, so who prefers drag and drop interfaces or something. If you want, if you are some business people and don't know about coding knowledge, you can go to the low code or no code tools like FlowWise, VectorShift, LangFlow, or else if you are an AI specialist or if you know about coding, so there is a different development approach for these people. So you can work with CrewAI, LangGraph, AutoGen, these frameworks. Okay. And when it comes to picking so there are many frameworks, right? So when it comes to picking the best AI agent frameworks, so there are many things. So what I need to select, if you can ask me what framework I need to select, means the answer is it really depends on what you're trying to achieve. That means, for example, if you want to select LangChain, So LangChain is actually great if you need to build something very quickly and connect to a lot of different AI models and tools. LangChain will help you to connect with different AI models, different tools and all. So if your application wants to access different tools, then you can go to the LangChain and use LangChain. So if you need, okay, let's say your project or if you need to build multiple AI agent system working as a team, then CrewAI might be the one of the solution. LangGraph may be the other solution. So these two frameworks help you to create multiple AI agent system very easily. Okay. And apart from this CrewAI and LangGraph, so there is other framework called AutoGen. So it's from Microsoft. So it is also a very solid framework if you want to create multiple AI agent systems. Okay. So this AI agent, I mean, this AutoGen is built with the Azure system. That means internally, if your company is working with the Azure cloud services, then it is very optimal to use Microsoft AutoGen. Okay. Then if you want to, if you say like I don't want to use the coding platforms, coding frameworks, I want the visual interfaces, then you can go to the LangFlow, Flowwise, Vectorflow. So these are the solutions. Right. Next, yeah. So we discussed about many different AI frameworks, right? In the future classes, I mean from day 2, day 3, we'll see about some frameworks, not every one. So currently, what are the most in demanding frameworks? We'll see it from tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll see about LangGraph, LangFlow, and the next day 3 we'll see about CrewAI. So these covers both coding and non-coding, both the aspects. Okay, and if we talk about the future of AI agents, so So in future, these AI agents will get better at understanding context and reasoning, right? So today, if you go to ChatGPT and ask some nonsense questions, so with improper English format and all, your ChatGPT can able to understand it, right? So in future, it's going to be more contextual understanding and more reasonable understanding. If you go and use some nonsense question also, it can able to get the meaning out of it and convert your question into the answer. Next is deeper personalization. So your AI agents won't just follow the general rules. So they know really what you mean. I mean, what question exactly you are asking. Okay. Sometimes it will disturb you, right? If you ask some question, it will answer you with some nonsense answer, which is irrelevant, right? But in future, it is going to be more deeper personalization. It will understand your preferences and even adjust preferences based on your needs. So based on your interactions with that LLM model, it will automatically adapt your preferences. Okay. Next, like similarly, um, so current AI agents, yeah, still need to be, there will be a human in between who is writing code and asking the AI agents to do like this. So there will be a little bit of human intervention currently, but in future they can able to take more sophisticated decisions. That means with minimal input from the human, it will think broadly and give you the answer. Okay, and also seamless integrations. Your AI agent will be integrated into the many applications in future, right? So in future, you will see whatever you will see, there will be AI agent behind it, right? Yeah. So so this is just the beginning of our AI agent bootcamp. So today we just got the information about foundation of what the AI agents mean. Okay. So from tomorrow, we'll build on top of it. So we'll see some advanced frameworks like LangGraph, CrewAI, and how to build a multi-agent system, optimization techniques, and in the last class, we'll say about evaluation and deployment. Okay. So each other day today will be more on only a theoretical part, but from tomorrow, it will be a combined theory with hands-on practice so that you will understand theoretical concepts along with practical knowledge. Okay. So finally, these AI agents is evolving rapidly, right? So, and specifically this bootcamp, this 5-day bootcamp is designed to give you both foundational knowledge and practical knowledge to help you to start creating AI agents, and it will help you to start thinking about this, going to the other frameworks and learning in depth. Okay. So this is about today's session. So
Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to KKR Gen AI Innovations channel.